I went abroad about a year and a half ago now, the fall of my junior year. And why I went abroad, I wanted to mix it up. You know, when I came to college, I heard that Lewis and Clark had a really good overseas study program, and as I went through my first 2 years of college, I'm thinking, like, am I really not going to utilize this? This was one of the reasons why I went here, and so I was like, I'm just going to take the leap. And I went to London. Few reasons. First off, they spoke English, so that was very helpful. And I wanted to have a place where I can easily travel to a lot of different places, which London was the perfect place to do that. And it just worked out. It was the perfect place to go for me. I learned about my love of travel. I learned that I can, at least in Europe, but I feel like a lot of other places in the world, I can get by on my own. Going to London was a little bit of a test to see how well I can be on my own and survive in a completely different country just by myself. And it really helped me realize that. It was a good test for me to really see that about myself, and I feel ready to do something else and go to a different place where it's more challenging. We went to London to drop off all of our stuff, but the next day we all got on a train and went to the Scottish Highlands, and we stayed there for about 8 days, just no school, just getting to know each other, getting to know about the area, and that was by far the most fun. That was awesome, just getting to know everyone and becoming friends with them. And then when we eventually got back to London, and when we were all in the same class with each other, it didn't even feel like a class. It just felt like we were all just friends, just kind of hanging out, and we're just talking about London history. So it was pretty cool. I would say Italy. We had a spring break of about 7 days, but I have Fridays off as well. So I took Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then that whole week, and then and then Saturday, Sunday. So it was a pretty long trip, and I did that completely by myself. I started in Milan. I went to Venice, and then Florence, and then Rome, and that was great. That was a challenge, and it took a toll towards the end. I was getting pretty tired of traveling and just being away for so long, but it was also just the most fun. It was so fun just to be by myself, but it was also the toughest part, being by myself, and just I would see these things, be like, wow, that's really cool, but I wouldn't have anyone to share it with, and I would just kind of remember it in my head. I'm like, okay, but that time was really special in learning about myself and how to travel and get around. London, my mind was always on travel and doing the next thing, and that was a place where I really loved to travel. And that was when I heard about Japan and going to Japan, and that is what I'm pursuing now. And after I graduate, I was talking to the leader of the group, or Professor Jessie Starling, and how she went to Japan, and it really spurred my interest in doing that. And so that's London. That's when I started to really think about it. They're called the Nova Company, and it's basically just an English teaching company where you go to Japan, you have to be a natural English speaker like I am, and you just, whoever wants to sign up, ranging from kids to adults, and I just teach Japanese people English. I'm very surprised about how much I've come outside my comfort zone. Growing up, I was a very anxious kid. I didn't like stepping out of my comfort zone. It was very, very hard for me. Trying new things and being in new places and not knowing exactly what's going on was very tough. And, coming to college was like the first step, being on my own and adjusting and working through that. And then London was the second step, about just being somewhere completely new in a country where I have no lifeline. I got to be by myself, got to focus on myself. And then the third step is somewhere like Japan, being there for a long extended period of time where it's going to be a lot more of a challenge, but I've grown tremendously. Like when I came into freshman year, I could never imagine that, like, oh yeah, by the time you graduate, you're going to be living in Japan for a year. Like, what? No. But yeah, it's pretty incredible to think about how far I've come, actually.